I'm Ryan Newman, and since I started with Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives, I found out that some people think that they can't be an organ donor. The truth is, anyone can sign up to be an organ donor.
Anyone?
Anyone?
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. Anyone can sign up to be an organ donor. So don't count yourself out because somebody's counting on you. Go to driventosavelives.org and sign up today.
But my heart's going to you, Ryan.
Love that shirt.
I'm heading out, man. You want to ride?
No, I got my car, but I actually really need to go to the bathroom.
Dude, are you okay?
I am definitely buzzed.
Yeah.
I think I will take this and I will take that ride home.
Welcome to the 34 Motorsports Product Showcase. We're proud to offer the full line of Simpson Racing safety products. The Shark Speedway is a perfect brain bucket to keep your melon as safe as possible. We carry every model and size of Hans device, and these have saved countless lives. The Hybrid Pro Lite is an alternative to the Hans device and is just as effective. The DNA 3-layer suit offers maximum protection when things get hot. And hey, dude, those comfy shoes won't help one bit when things go south. Keep those hands ready to work with a pair of Vortex FIA gloves meeting every current standard. From 5 to 7 points, we carry every one of the Simpson harnesses, keeping your rear end right where it should be. Keep all your gear clean and together with the helmet and FHR bag, and always be ready to hop in a race car. Visit 34motorsports.com and order today.
If there's one thing every car guy hates, it's cleaning the garage. Do you want to take most of the time and hassle out of that job? Then call Zone Garage of Eastern Pennsylvania and New Jersey. Agnes and her crew will have your garage, shop, basement, or even your porch looking great all the time. With unique patterns and designs, plus the ability to incorporate your logo or any artwork, your space will never have looked better. Installation is done in 1 day, guaranteed, and Zone Garage offers a 20-year warranty on the top coat. Their coatings are durable, anti-slipped, and impact resistant. Give them a call at 570-856-6067. That's 570-856-6067 for Zone Garage of Eastern Pennsylvania and New Jersey.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back here to the National Racing Network's live coverage of the Indy Pro 2000 Championship. Coming to you tonight from Donnington Raceway, the Donnington Park Racing Circuit. Let me correct myself here. My name is Chris Graham. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. Got James Watson in the booth with us as well, qualifying just about ready to get rolling here. We'll bring up the ticker so you can see where your favorite is running this evening before we pull up the graphics here and tell you a little bit about what's going on here this evening. This one will be our first trip here to Donnington, located in Leicestershire, England, 2.5 miles, 4.02 kilometers, 13 turns, opened in 1931, the oldest permanent racing circuit in Britain, basically ending the monopoly that was held by Brooklands for a very, very long time. Tonight's race, championship round number 5, will be 30 laps in distance, local cautions only, moderate scrutiny of the qualifying attempts here. And by the way, that number, a little bit off. How about this one? 4,060. 4060 for the strength of field. James, this thing is an absolute monster tonight.
Yeah,
That's the thing that happens sometimes when you just barely get it to split, is that at the top split then becomes really, really deep. This might just be the deepest split we've ever had in our time covering it, which means this race is going to be huge for the championship. That's enough for my Captain Obvious moment.
Yes, major championship implications. And in fact, let's tell you a little bit about those as we head into tonight's event. David Porcelli is your championship leader, sitting on 841 points. Everett Paddock not far behind, though, at 775. Nagiso Shikawa, Frank Wynn, Chris Preston. All of these drivers are still potentially within reach of the championship because we have the drop week. In a 12-week schedule, we're only going to count the top 8 races. Potentially, we could see some really pretty insane swings in the points here once we start counting the drop week. But we've got cars now setting times on the racetrack, and David Porcelli will be your quickest overall at a 101.303. But how about 5 thousandths of a second separating Porcelli from Everett Paddock? Good Lord. Let's, we'll do a reload on the overlay here as well to get everybody's, the names all popping up right here. But to the 100th of a second, identical lap times for Porcelli and Paddock. Chris Preston is quick, only a 10th back. Graham Sanders is only a 10th back. If you want to find 1 second in this field, you got to go all the way back to 8th place Mike Holler. One of the interesting things to me about Donnington, James, is for the PM18s, this place is going to be incredibly fast and very, very flowing. What it says, so I guess the point being, there's really a lot that you're going to be able to do in terms of holding on to the draft and utilizing the cars in front of you to kind of pull you around this place.
Yeah, but it's going to be interesting because of a lot of the fast, high-speed flowing corners. You're going to get draft going through a corner, which I think is going to make the racing really interesting, a lot different than what we're used to, because we're so used to long straight corner, and we kind of know how those races tend to play out. I can't really predict how this race is going to play out.
Yeah, there's a lot, quite frankly, that's going to be very, very interesting to watch about this race. We'll see how it all shakes out here as following along with Frankie D as he completes his qualification run. Working on lap number 2 right now in the fantastic throwback footwork colors on that machine. I love it. One of those that I absolutely love. Michael Joseph checking in the comments here with a little bit of love for Graham Sanders. Already have, let's see, only car that has not taken time yet and not been on the racetrack is J.W. Miller. J.W. was not sounding overly confident in his abilities around this place either, so he may elect to start from the pit lane, so we could be pretty rapidly approaching the end of qualifying. One of the most iconic shots at Donnington. That look straight ahead, down the front straightaway. But with that, unless we see J.W. Miller out on the racetrack, qualifications will have wrapped up. Andrew DeYoung is still out on the racetrack right now. And right as we say that, he's going to come to a stop as well. With 2 minutes left in qualifying, I don't think we're going to see JW out there.
Yeah, JW hit ready to race. One of the other drivers stopped it on their second lap, and does not look like they pressed the button.
It would be, I guess, waiting for Richard Holt, as we're down to about 1 minute and 45 seconds until this race takes off. Donnington, the site of one of the most epic wet weather drives in auto racing history by the late great Ayrton Senna in 1993. coming from 4th on the grid, losing a spot by the time they got to turn 1, and having the race lead before the lap was over. Absolutely incredible drive from Seca. And the reason I bring it up is because Greg West was doing some chatting with the folks tonight, and it sounds like rain will be coming to the iRacing platform. #soon, #allegedly.
Yeah, now we're going to have the opportunity to recreate that drive ourselves. And by recreate, I mean end up in one of the gravel pits.
Yeah, I was going to say, there is not a chance that anybody on iRacing is skilled enough to replicate that drive, even in the virtual world. But
I don't know. I feel like there's some people on the service that could do that. However, definitely not any of the people in this broadcast booth right now. I can assure you of that, folks at home.
Yes, that is exactly right. Time to get ready to go here, and let's show you the starting grid for tonight's race. David Porcelli will be your pole sitter for tonight by 99 thousandths of a second over Everett Paddock. Graham Sanders and Chris Preston going to occupy row number 2. Nicholas Daly, Nagiso Shikawa on row number 3. Row 4 will see Benjamin Kopke and Frankie D. Frank Wynn, Mike Holler on row number 5. Probably a little bit disappointed there in the qualifying run there for Frank Wynn, considering where he sits in the point standings right now. Richard Holt and Andrew DeYoung will start tonight's race from row number 6. All alone on row number 7, the only guy who did not set a time in qualifications, J.W. Miller, will tack in at the back of the grid and just waiting for our front row to get out here.
Staging duel.
Yeah, really. Kylo Ciacelli checking in the comments here. Taking a week off, but let's be honest, I wouldn't have made the field this week. Good luck, teammates Preston Porcelli and Yoshikawa. A lot of love for the Team Watson Racing guys in this one.
Yee.
This one has the potential to be absolutely outstanding or very, very dumpster fire-ish. Almost, maybe not Summit Point levels of dumpster fire, but we do have a couple of very sharp corners that are just so inviting for the bonsai overtake.
Yeah, like the chicane and the last couple of corners before the chicane. That's what I have circled as my oh god areas of the track.
Yes, and the other one is the hairpin. Just coming out of that hairpin into the hairpin. So sketchy to try to make the overtake there. The field's lined up and rolling, though, getting ready for tonight's 30-lap feature event.
Especially since we're not running the hairpin on this layout.
Oh, that's disappointing. I forgot we were on the national layout.
Yeah, a move into the hairpin would really be interesting, though.
Yes. Frankly, why we're not running the hairpin is kind of mind-boggling, but green flag is out. We are underway. Field going screaming down towards turn 1.
Ooh, Everett did not get a good jump there.
Porcelli did. Everett going to be able to hold on to second. Your top 4 all going to be nose to tail right now. Side by side, Nicholas Daly, Nagiso Shikawa fighting for position. And a little bit twitchy there as well. Oh, the 5 goes around. The 5 of Nicholas Daly spins off, gets back out onto the racetrack, but he is going to lose a ton of ground and time. Chris Preston able to clear Nagiso Shikawa, and there is a hornet's nest back here towards the back of the pack. Things going to settle in a little bit. Yoshikawa able to hold off Benjamin Kopke. That's going to leave Andrew DeYoung fighting off this whole line of race cars, tightly bunched up. Oh man, a little bit of swerving up there towards the back of the pack as we see Nicholas Daly having a little bit of a moment there as well. Oh, and a big twitch for Graham
Speaking-
Sanders.
Speaking of a moment,
Big wiggle for Graham Sanders off the racetrack. That was full-on pucker factor Zulu there for Graham Sanders.
yeah, they are pushing like hell in these cold tires.
Now Chris
You know,
Preston
Dave-
gonna... Preston gonna have a realistic shot here at Everett Paddock as well.
Yeah, he might be able to actually pull the move off into the chicane. Or not.
I will say the national layout is probably the better of the layouts for the PM18s. But it doesn't change the fact that we should still be running the hairpin. Big dive up the inside by Graham Sanders. He's going to get third place away from Chris Preston. Preston going to fight back on the outside of the racetrack, but no way he's going to be able to hold it. A little bit further back in the pack, Benjamin Kopke, Andrew DeYoung were side by side entering the S's. They get that little tussle squared away. And I'll tell you what here, James, at a 30-lap race, I know the laps are short, but it definitely feels like just the mental gymnastics of there's a lot of time left to go here. It's not like Spa where you're going to see 10 or 12 laps on the lap counter and you go, I have to move now. Little bit more time to play with here.
Yeah, but man, the longer lap count, it just makes it feel like an eternity. You know it's a short lap and you're not going to be really running as long, but man, it just makes it feel like a drag.
Yeah, a little bit. Oh, buddy, almost making some contact there. Andrew DeYoung and Benjamin Kopke. DeYoung going to be able to get through and pick up the 6th position. He's now going to go to work on Nagisa Yoshikawa.
Yeah, Benjamin really wants to get by. He is not wasting any time. You could say we have the young and the restless.
My God.
I've been setting that joke up.
Just for that, you're getting a server mute. All right, we'll bring it back up. I don't want to talk about myself.
I mean, that probably would have upped the production value had you left mute on longer.
Oh my goodness, the young and the restless. Yes, there you go. David Porcelli holding on to his lead right now over Everett Paddock, but things are starting to close in a little bit here. And it's bringing Graham Sanders into play as well. So again, a couple of good battles here on the racetrack. Your top 4 all nose to tail. About 3.6 seconds back is Nagisa Yoshikawa in 5th. If these cars start to battling, Nagisa may be able to make up a little bit of ground. And Nagisa has Andrew DeYoung and Benjamin Kopke lined up right behind them. Another couple of seconds back is Mike Holler and Frank Wynn, separated by about a third of a second or so. How about it? DeYoung threw on Yoshikawa through the chicane. Hold the move there, James.
Yeah, that was a nice move. There's nothing you can really do about that if you're Yoshikawa.
Yeah, it's an almost impossible move to defend.
Yeah, Yoshikawa was not talking. Oh, woo!
Man, that was about as close as you get to Punterino without that one happening.
Yeah. Yeah, Yosh was not really talking highly about his chances coming into tonight, so I think he's pretty well content on where he's running right now.
Yeah, this is kind of one of those nights of do no harm, or do as little harm as possible for Yoshikawa. Maybe you get a little bit of help from your front 4. We've seen these cars battle all season long, and it does not always end up good for everybody.
Yeah, they're going to need like some serious brain dead slugfest here for like 5 laps of complete side-by-side race for the pack behind to catch up. That's a lot of gap.
Graham Sanders thought about it going into turn 1. Everett Paddock did a nice job of slamming the doors shut on the inside of the racetrack. That's one of the things about Donnington is there are opportunities to pass, but you really have to set it up, and a good defensive drive basically is going to negate the vast majority of them.
Yeah, because there's a lot of doors that are open by how these corners are and the entries you have to take into them. And so you really got to keep in mind how your entry is and not open up the door too much because, well, we know it is iRacing. If gap car.
That may have to become NRN swag. If gap car. That's it on the t-shirt.
Thank you, Senna, for that quote. The quote that keeps on giving. 4X.
Oh, that's awesome. I tell you what, Graham Sanders getting a little bit antsy here behind Everett Paddock. Shows him some mirror to the left side, shows him some mirror to the right side. Dips a wheel off in the grass. You'll see the dust kick up in the mirror. I mean, how much of that are you really paying attention to as a driver, though? It's not like you're saying, ooh, he's close, I'm going to make a mistake.
For these guys, not really. You're so used to this. Like, come on, how many races have we seen in the SOF turn out just like this, where the top 4 or 5 are just following close?
Oh! That was tight. They're still side by side. What a battle between Everett Paddock and Graham Sanders. Paddock going to be able to clear. Oh, man, that is absolutely thrilling.
It's thrilling for David up ahead. He's looking in his mirror like, come on, guys. A little more of that. Keep going side by side.
Yeah, pretty much.
I tell you, this is one of the best tracks to just watch race from, because with all the elevation change and the undulations, you just see the suspension and see the cars work. It's just so aesthetically pleasing to watch any car go through these corners.
Yeah, this is one of the places that you can really see the detail in the modeling that has gone into the iRacing platform. I don't want to say it looks real, because it's still a video game or a simulation or whatever you want to call it. It looks like it's a sim. However, you can definitely get a feel for the car is moving on the suspension, as opposed to, especially in the full-bodied cars, where it's kind of like, yeah, you just kind of see them turning lap. The open-wheel cars, you can really see the suspension travel. Tell you what, I thought Everett Paddock was going to take a shot there at David Porcelli.
I did too. Everett's not wasting any more time.
Now, and Porcelli running that little bit of an inside line, the defensive line into the chicane. Going to make life a little bit difficult, but... Oh, Graham Sanders outside! Wow, what a pass by Sanders!
He's not done.
Got the big run. Oh. Through the crater curves. He's trying to make the big move. Man, I'll tell you what, now we've really got 2 battles going on here as well, because Chris Preston has come around Everett Paddock. That's going to drop Paddock back to the 4th position. We still have 20 laps of this left to go.
I don't know if my heart can take it.
One too many Mountain Dew and grape sodas there for you, bud.
Some sad news to report from our bottom split correspondent, Jason Owens 8. Unfortunately, he was killed by some serious netcode and will not be finishing in his return to the series after some unfortunate incidents with his sim rig.
Yeah, Jason's been out of the car basically since Memorial Day weekend. Finally getting everything put back together. Night number one not going as well as he might have hoped, though. And I'll tell you what, that little bit of a battle there between Porcelli and Sanders has allowed Preston and Paddock to catch right back in. This battle's a good one. This battle's a good one still between Andrew DeYoung, Benjamin Kopke, and Nagisa Yoshikawa. By the way, just behind them, Frank Wynn and Mike Holler are going at it. But the battle for the race lead has just been too good at this point. Sanders takes the toe down the front stretch. He wants to go outside into turn one. He made it work once. Can he do it again?
Oh.
Little bit of a squeeze by Porcelli. Oh, David has to run wide through three. Oh, there's contact! Porcelli and Sanders both off the racetrack. They're into the gravel. Sanders recovers, but it puts Chris Preston up into the lead. Oh my goodness. This one is coming on the Hot Shoe Racewear Instant Replay. The run up through the hill.
Oof.
Oh, that was so tight. We'll see if either one of these cars is going to have damage at this point.
I can't even tell what exactly happened. Is there like, let's see, like a front end shot or a cockpit cam?
Let's see. This one we may actually even just do from the chopper, but the look from overhead, oh, that may have even been a little bit of netcode too.
I think there was netcode, yeah. I think I could see in between both cars when they got spun. Because, yeah, it's such a random place to have an accident like that.
Yeah, big time random place to have an incident like that. But now, David Porcelli running in 8th. Graham Sanders holding on to 3rd position. But he's only going to have about 0.7 of a second or so on Benjamin Kopke. And now it's going to be Chris Preston and Everett Paddock doing battle here for the race lead. And I'll tell you what, I wonder if there's not a little bit of damage here on Graham Sanders' race car, because Benjamin Kopke has closed into about 0.3 of a second.
Yeah, these battles more towards the mid-pack are going to get a heck of a lot more interesting here.
Yeah, that's kind of putting it mildly. Oh, trouble for Andrew DeYoung as well. He had to take the toe into the pits. Yep, off track, and has to take the toe back in. Let's pick up your race leaders here as they are within a car length now. Oh, and trouble again for Benjamin Kopke. He was fighting with Graham Sanders Goes for the spin, comes back on the racetrack, but Kopke going to fall back to 7th. That's going to put Graham Sanders up into the 3rd position and open up a huge gap back to Nagisa Yoshikawa now. Not a chance that Graham Sanders thought he may have had a podium when he was off pirouetting through the gravel. And in terms of the championship, this is absolutely the night that Chris Preston and especially Everett Paddock want to have. Graham Sanders currently 11th in the point standings. He's not as much of a concern. But Everett Paddock could easily take over the points lead after this race. And Chris Preston stands to make a huge jump in the point.
Yeah, especially since David lost another spot to Frankie D. That car is not healthy after the incident either.
Mike Holler coming around Nagisa Yoshikawa. Frank Wynn running just ahead in the 4th position. Good run thus far for Frank and Mike. Both of those cars up 5 from where they started here tonight. We go back to your leaders at 13 laps to go. More tight flowing racetrack coming up next week for the Indy Pro 2000 Championship, as they're going to head off for 24 laps at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. Trouble for Frankie D getting off the racetrack. Frankie going to lose a couple of positions there. Oh man, Everett thought about making the big bomb into the chicane, had to back out of it. Following Laguna Seca, Worldwide Technology Raceway, the Pack Racing Oval will be back for week number 7. And then NRN's first visit up to Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. Mosport up in Canada. Looking forward to that one as well. Like making first visits to places.
And Mosport is such an amazing track with these cars, man. And I am looking forward to that week.
Quite frankly, a place a lot like Donnington in that it's fairly flowing. Maybe a couple of more overtaking opportunities at Mosport.
A lot more fast areas of the track as well. You really don't have a whole lot of serious straightaway here at Donnington.
Then we head off to Phillip Island, Road America, Phoenix, and the Nordschleife to close out the season. 60 laps at Phoenix, followed by 5 laps at the Nürburgring. This is the best battle on the racetrack right now, so it's not just a case of us focusing on the leaders here, but the only other battle we have is going to be way back in the pack. David Porcelli, Richard Holt, and Frankie D. Kylo Ciacelli checking in the comments here. Chris, I'm playing the Deja Vu. Use the power. Yes. OBBG Star. Imagine if these two have a problem as well. Who knows who would win? Yes. It could be very, very interesting, to say the least. Down to 10 laps to go. Chris Preston doing a nice job of holding off Everett Paddock at this point. Preston, I would imagine, is kind of in a scenario of he knows he belongs, but this is the first SOF race that we're really seeing him on merit, leading on pace. That's a pretty big deal for a driver.
I disagree with that. This is the most he's led, but from the drop of the green flag this season, Preston has been right up there. He has been super impressive to watch. He's made such a huge jump from where he was last season. He still had serious pace last season, but just wasn't really able to get close enough to David and the two Geodesic guys and Everett and so on and so forth. Now he is right up there. He has fully put himself in the conversation for the championship.
Absolutely. He's got 9 laps to hold on here before he can pick up a monster points night. On a night that David Porcelli will see as a drop week, Graham Sanders going to stand to benefit, Everett Paddock going to benefit, but you start mentally ticking off, okay, I've used a drop week. A little bit early in the season to have one of those come into play.
Yeah, ideally you don't want to have any of those drop weeks, especially not... Well, I wouldn't say this is early. We are coming up to the halfway point of the season. And this isn't a terrible time to use the drop week. But for a few of our drivers out there like Everett and have already kind of used their drop weeks, Preston too, thinking back to Road Atlanta, and him not being able to run New Hampshire.
Yeah, there's 2 already for Chris Preston, but yeah, I tell you what, this battle's pretty good here too. Richard Holt, David Porcelli, Frankie D. D now having the look on Porcelli. That car obviously banged up at least a little bit. Maybe a little bit of damage there on the front wing. Well, it looks okay coming from the head-on angle.
Yeah, it has to be floor then. That car is definitely not as fast as it used to be, clearly.
Yeah. They'll get the move made on Frankie D, though. Old Nagiso Yoshikawa getting around Frank Wynn, who's off the racetrack. Wynn going to lose 1 spot. He'll lose a second to Benjamin Kopke. Frank Wynn going to fall back to the 7th position. Man, this is starting to have some Summit Point vibes.
Yeah, this race is really weird. I don't know how you could describe it any other way.
And I'll tell you what, interesting comment coming in here from OBBG Star. I wonder how the drivers are handling their crew chief talking about the pit lane from dipping across the line. Wonder if it's breaking anything. I would imagine it maybe even just a little bit frustrating to hear in your ear. Yeah, wonder if it's breaking any concentration is the comment. Maybe. At least a little bit, anyway.
I could kind of see that, but given the level of talent we have, I really don't think any of these drivers can really be thrown off by something as little as that.
Picking up this battle once again with Richard Holt, David Porcelli, and Frankie D. This is the best fight on the race course. Battling for 8th, 9th, and 10th. Nagiso Yoshikawa, Benjamin Kopke also getting close to one another here. In fact, that one may be a pass upcoming here. Oh, I'm sorry, Benjamin Kopke and Frank Wynn, I should say. These 2 cars running side by side down the hill.
So, you're not wrong. Yoshikawa is catching up to Haller. He is almost within a second.
Yeah, getting close and already down to 6 laps to go. These 2 are going to continue to run side by side. That's one of the things I love about the PM18s. You really can at least try to run these cars side by side. Every once in a while, the netcode gods will come out and bite you, but... Oh, almost contact! Hold on to it, Frankie!
Ooh, what a save!
Great save, Frankie D. That's Andrew DeYoung just behind him. That fight is not for position. And now the tightest battle is going to be your race leaders. See the comment from Kyle Mass. Go Preston, step on the gas. This is that time of the race where you're checking the little bars in the upper right-hand corner, making sure the connection's still good. It's almost like the real world. The driver says you can hear everything, you feel everything in the race car. Very much what's going on here late in this race if you're Chris Preston. This is a big-time opportunity for Preston to pick up a win. And the problem is, if you're Everett Paddock, you can't just let Preston have the win, because he's going to be in the championship discussion as well with the points haul from a 4,000 strength of field race. This is going to be a big, big number tonight for Chris Preston.
Exactly. Everett's not going to just cruise. Everett's got a few more tricks up his sleeve to see if he can try to steal this win back.
Hey, what great couple of corners there for Chris Preston. He opened the gap up to about a half second. Problem is, Paddock's just going to get the draft and go right back into range. It'll be 3 to go, this time by the start-finish line. Oh, Paddock getting ever closer. And not only is Paddock smart, but he's also seen what Graham Sanders was able to do, using that outside lane into turn 1. Ask and ye shall receive there, Mr. Ciacelli. Take a look. Let's go on board here with Everett Paddock. All lap traffic will come into play. Interesting, you hear the big back out there entering the chicane. It's almost like Paddock doesn't want to be there just yet, down to 2 to go. Maybe now's the time that you make the move.
Yeah, I'm trying to get into Everett's head on the strategy. He's still got a lot of opportunities. I could easily see him waiting to try to make the move into the chicane on the last lap coming into the checker.
You want to make the move as late as possible.
Oh! That's a big mistake from Everett. He almost put it off the track.
Yes, he did. In fact, the gap is at about 3/4 of a second. Paddock may not be able to get the huge tow here. May have made the decision for him. White flag is out. 1 lap to go here at Donnington. The gap within a half second again. Paddock is closing, but about the only shot he may have left is into the chicane. The gap's down to 1/4 of a second. Paddock is going to get the big toe. Preston snakes down the straightaway, tries to break the draft. Final time into the chicane. Paddock not close enough. Out of the final corner, Chris Preston will get the win at Donnington. What a drive by Chris Preston. Everett Paddock going to come home second. Graham Sanders finishing in the 3rd position here tonight. Mike Holler, Nagisa Yoshikawa battling to the end here, as are Frank Wynn and Richard Holt. Holt going to try it at the line. Not quite close enough. Wow, fantastic race here at Donnington. And what a drive for this guy. Chris Preston. Whole lot of love coming in the comments as well. That is going to be one pumped up driver right there.
Probably not nearly as pumped up as his boss, I can assure you of that.
Preston brings it down to the start-finish line, get the nice picture squared up, do a couple of donuts. And with that, it gives us a chance to show you tonight's race result.
Oh.
You might as well wad it up while you're on the front straightaway. Chris Preston, the winner, by 3/10 of a second, 3.5 tenths over Everett Paddock. Graham Sanders will round out your podium. Mike Holland, Nagisa Yoshikawa, the top 5. 6 through 10 tonight, Frank Wynn, Richard Holt, David Porcelli, Benjamin Kopke, and Frankie D. Nicholas Daly, J.W. Miller, and Andrew DeYoung round out tonight's 13-car field. 26 on the entry list, 13 in the top and bottom split, 40-60 the strength of field. This one was an absolute monster of a race. And while we wait for our drivers to get in here, James, good Lord, what a fantastic race that was.
Oh, I love this series, man. Even the stinkers that the series put on is still incredibly fascinating. And so when we get incredible races like this, it just makes them even more incredible. Like, this is just fun to watch, fun to do.
Oh, yes, it was. And something tells me we are going to have a jacked up race car driver. Let's bring him in as quickly as humanly possible for the Victory Lane interview here tonight. Mr. Chris Preston, your winner tonight in Indy Pro 2000. Congratulations, bud. What a fantastic drive.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much. I can't honestly believe that I actually won one of these races. But hey, James, what did I tell you a few weeks ago? I'll put one together this year, trust me. And I did it.
Ah, man, hey, what was going through your head? You see Graham and David have their issue. You're still battling with Everett. He was on your tail the entire time. There was absolutely no let-off possible there in that race for you.
No, absolutely none whatsoever. I had made a couple mistakes and then had to defend a couple of times, but I don't know if Everett was running a little more wing. He didn't really look like he was within striking distance, kind of like how David and Graham were battling. So maybe he was just letting off a little bit into the corners and just taking a second place. But no, I had to make sure I hit my marks that entire time. There was no room for error.
Man, the drive was insane, but now this is going to launch you right into the thick of the points battle, too. On a night with a 40-60 strength of field, you're going to pick up a huge haul of points here. Got to be a huge confidence boost as we head into the rest of the schedule, in the second half of the schedule.
Oh, yeah, it's huge. I can't believe this off was 4K. I heard you say it at the start. I couldn't quite believe it, so... Thankfully, this race split. I think we had 25 or 26 sign up. So that just put it over the edge. And I see I got 224 points for that one, which is by far and away the most I've ever got in this series. Luckily for David, he actually won the 8:15 race and got a good collection of points. So he's not... he didn't do as badly, as this race would suggest. But... yeah, no, I actually only have, I think I counted one more drop week or no drop weeks left. So it's basically all good results from here on out.
Well, congratulations on the win, and we're thrilled for you. That was a big one for you, brother. Congratulations. And before we let you go, get all those sponsor plugs and thank yous in.
Thank you so much. Of course, I got to thank Team Watson Racing. I got to thank Limo Boys Racing and all my teammates for their support and pushing me throughout the season to improve. And look where it got me.
Oh, man. Fantastic drive, brother. Congratulations once again. And let's bring in Everett Paddock, our runner-up here tonight. Man, I'll tell you what, Everett, you had a whole lot going on here. You were up, you were down, you were kind of everywhere, and then all hell broke loose right in front of you. What was going through the head when you saw David and Graham have their issue?
Well, I was, like hoping to capitalize it, but honestly, it worked out a little better than I could have hoped for. So that's it sucks for those two guys, but it's the way racing is sometimes, right?
Yeah, one of the things that we noticed with doing a little bit of onboard riding with you, but backing off a little bit into the chicane, were you trying to set up Chris for a last lap move, or was it just one of those things that you had a little bit more aero than maybe you wanted to, or what was going on there that you didn't quite have the ability to get right up underneath them to make the move?
Yeah, I was trying to figure out when and what was the best place to do it. I didn't think going into the chicane was a good place to do it. I just, maybe I'll put it out this way. I think maybe Chris had a little more to go for if we got side by side in the chicane. Didn't feel like that was a good place to get too racy.
Well, it's a great point there that sometimes discretion is the better part of valor. Ultimately, it's a big points haul for you. Gonna get you at least fairly close to the points lead by the time all of this stuff shakes out. And actually, it gives you a 21-point lead over David Porcelli following this race. That's got to be a huge confidence boost here, approaching the halfway point of the season. Now you can really try to separate yourself a little bit.
Yeah, I got to go put that Week 5 championship trophy on the shelf.
Yeah, I guess, and you're one of those guys that you're not really a big points thinker anyway, so we'll take that one. But congratulations on the podium here tonight, and before we let you go, get all the sponsor plugs and thank yous.
Yeah, I want to congratulate Chris on the win, getting the monkey off the back. That's awesome. Good job, Chris. And thanks for the broadcast tonight, guys. And thanks to my teammate. I don't see how Russ did. Don't see him up there, so we'll have to go through our AAR after this. But thanks a lot, guys. Have a good weekend.
Thanks, bud. You too. And let's bring in our third place finisher here now, Mr. Graham Sanders. You were off the racetrack and, well, quite frankly, pretty much junk a handful of laps into this race. I would imagine third place was about the farthest you thought you could possibly finish in this one.
Yeah, that was eventful. I'm lucky that I didn't have any damage. I don't know if David did, but yeah, somehow I didn't have any damage. I was pretty much banking on Everett and Chris battling. It didn't happen as much as I would have hoped, but I'm still very, very happy with another P3 despite having a spin.
Yeah, it was one of those deals. And actually, we looked at it from the overhead, and it was very close. If there was any contact, it was very slight. May have been netcode that knocked the two of you off into the gravel. How do you recollect yourself and kind of put yourself back into the mindset of just, okay, hot lap the daylights out of this thing until the finish?
Yeah, it's really tough. I got lucky that I just did a 360 and was able to keep going. David was a bit more unlucky. I think he was pointed the wrong direction after he spun. But yeah, it's you've really got to get your head back on straight, focus up, figure out if you got any damage, and just push on from there and try and do what you can do.
All right, bud. Well, congratulations on the third place finish. A pretty good points night for you as well. Puts you up into the 6th position in points with only 3 weeks counted. So championship still very much in the cards here, potentially, the later we get in this season. So looking forward to seeing how you do there. But before we let you go, get all those sponsor plugs and thank yous in.
Yeah, I just want to thank the team, all the sponsors, Alpine Stars, GoPro, GSI, Wave Italy. and of course you guys for the broadcast. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys next week.
All right, bud. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate that. And man, I'll tell you what, James, it seems like week in and week out, this is what we're going to do. We're going to have a fantastic show in the Indy Pro 2000 race. And the guys didn't disappoint once again.
Nope, this was absolutely fantastic. You can't ask for a better race than we saw tonight, and pretty much most of the season as well.
Yeah, now we're going to head off to Mazda Raceway, Laguna, Seca, another place that doesn't have as potentially as many passing zones. And again, it's a rhythm track. It's a lot like Donnington is in that respect. Are we expecting more of the same next week? Is the corkscrew going to chew somebody up and spit them out?
Yes.
Yeah, just yes. Yes, lots and lots of yes. All right, buddy. Well, thank you very much for hanging out with us tonight, and thank you, all of you at home that are hanging out and watching along with us. We appreciate all the support and looking forward to more of these coming up here over the next couple of weeks. But with that, it's time for us to get the heck on out of here. For James Watson and everybody else here at the National Racing Network who makes these broadcasts happen, my name is Chris Graham. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We will talk to you all soon. Have a good night, everybody.